Welcome to the Forever Better Academy podcast, where you will be given the principles, tools, and techniques to reach the next stage on your journey of self-mastery. Who could you become? I'm your host, Wade Vincent. Did you ever hear the story about the professional basketball player that won the championship the year that he ignored his coach? No, you didn't, because it didn't happen. So today, as always, this is Wade Vincent here on the Forever Better Academy podcast. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is being coachable. So really about that ability to be open to learning, understanding that you don't know it all, and listening to the right kind of people that are going to give you that advice that will excel you on your journey of self-mastery. So when I was younger, in my late teens, early 20s, I was a graffiti artist, very much immersed in the hip-hop culture. Those of you that have listened to the podcast or are familiar with my story understand my background in music across all of hip-hop. So was a rapper, b-boy, breakdancer, graffiti artist, the whole spectrum. Everything short of being a DJ, and what part of what comes with that culture is this underlying disdain or lack of respect for authority. So from very early on through the most impressionable years of my teenage time, and combining that with not having a positive male role model around, and just basically that combination was a perfect storm of me just absolutely disregarding and hating authority in any shape, form, or capacity. So I had this it wasn't so much, I wouldn't necessarily label it as a hatred, but just a complete disregard for authority and anything that stemmed from authority's viewpoints, right? So as you can imagine, I got into a lot of trouble when that's your mentality and approach to things, and it was the framework that I operated from and sort of made many of my decisions from. Now, I looked at it as if almost it was an obstacle to my success in my life. I very much looked at authority as a roadblock, or the man or the powers that be, or whatever you want to call it, that were like controlling my life and keeping me where they wanted me to be. And it took a long time for me to sort of break that thought pattern and understand that it wasn't serving me in any shape other than to sort of oppress myself, right? So I had this immense desire, and it's probably a thing that's common. It's certainly with men, and I can't speak for women. I don't understand, like a woman does, how they experience life. But in the sense of, I believe most people have this sense of wanting to be in control or charge of their own destiny. Really understanding what they can do, how they can navigate life, and steer the ship, so to speak. So I had this desire as a young man. I wanted to be in control of my life and not let anything get in my way, and not have anyone dictate or tell me what I could and couldn't do. And that typical male bravado on the exterior is, I got this under control. Like I'm the man. I can handle whatever. This is what I do. And then inside is like a completely different conversation inside of like, I have no idea what to do. I know that I want to do well. I know that I want to make the most of this gift that I've been given in life. But I don't even know like what this truly is or what it means or what I can do with it. I just know I'm excited and I'm young and I have no idea and I just want to do it all right away. So like the very, very, I'm sure lots of you can relate to that story because it's, universal as far as I'm concerned. And and that was a part of it too. Is that very much that's that conditioning. Males are very much taught, especially the generation that came before me and my father's father. It was very much you were seen and not heard as a kid. You do what you're told. Suck it up. If you're hurt, stop crying. Stop being a pussy. Don't be a wimp. It was constantly you know, within earshot all the time. That was what you heard, and even not having my father present when I was growing up, it was very much a part of the culture of just that masculinity of men just you can't have emotion, you can't feel, you can't do don't complain, you just handle it, you're a man, right? And still I feel elements of that still. Like I know a lot better now, but there's elements where I am absolutely hard on myself to achieve, and that drives those a lot of decisions and the approach to things is me telling myself, you can handle it, you're a man, handle it. And there are positives that come from that, obviously, and obviously there's negatives as well that can stem from that. It's a very fine line, that you dance on. So that conditioning really played a huge part in me wanting to do well and take charge and control of my life, but also when you are new to life or new to adulthood and you don't really know how to navigate, what the rules are, what you can and can't do, and what you're capable of, that's daunting. It's just like having these two sides to the equation. And the biggest obstacle that I found for me personally was I didn't have an example to follow. So I had all this, energy and desire and youthful exuberance. Let's go, and I don't know where I'm going. Like I had nothing to guide me, or I didn't have a path to follow. There's beauty in that, being that I can pave the way and do things however I wish, but there's also obstacles in that makes it very difficult, and it takes a lot longer because you're learning from your own mistakes as you go through them, rather than gaining experience and wisdom from the people that trod the path before you. So I was very much on my own, I guess you could say. I just and it did. It took me a long while to get to even to where I'm at now, and I sort of started to realize, as you start to get a bit older and you start to see a few more things, you have a couple of different jobs and you meet more people, you start to identify the pieces of the puzzle and notice things, and that leads you down the next path. And one of the things that occurred to me was, I'm seeing people that are where I want to be. I'm seeing people that have done things that I would like to do, or that have nice things that I would like to have. So I started watching and looking and being drawn to those kind of people that were not directly available to me, but a few steps removed, but within reaching distance. So I started to look at how do I mimic or copy or learn from, who do I want to learn from. So I thought, what if these people that are out there doing these things would they be willing to teach me? What if I asked them to help me? Would it, I mean, what's the worst they could say? If they say no, I'm no worse off than where I am. I'm trying to figure this out on my own, and I don't really have any guidance. So if they say no, I'm not. I haven't moved backwards. But if they say yes, then I can leapfrog, get maybe a jump on how far along the path I'm on. So I started probably my first serious job was as a chef, and a lot of the initial opportunities that came to me to learn, and it was an excellent sort of format for me, because that's the whole role of an apprentice, right? When you take on an apprenticeship, you're almost provided by default with a mentor or someone who can teach you and guide you, because you've taken this path, and it's already established that you're the junior, and you're trying to learn what the superior or the senior has gone through, and wants to instill that information upon you. So that helped me to understand the dynamic of the relationship. But being young and not really understanding or having anyone to sort of pull me aside and give me the helpful advice, or even kick in the pants that I might have needed, I definitely needed, reading between the lines there, to know when to listen, and who to listen to. So a huge problem when I first was exposed to people that could help me learn and grow. I wasn't coachable. I wasn't ready to listen. I still had too much of that hostility around authority. Even I'd say even into my early 30s, I just, there was something, and everything, I look at as really, excuse me, the way you approach anything is projection of self, right? So there was something that I needed to work through internally, that really required me to sort of step back and think, why do I have this concern or problem around authority? Where does this stem from, right? Other than just being exposed to it from rap music and just hanging around the wrong kind of people as a kid. So in that instance, when I wasn't coachable, the outcome of those situations, I basically lost opportunity, and people didn't want to talk to me or teach me anymore. It's funny, my that thing of feeling like the authorities holding you back, or they're the gatekeeper, or the obstacle to you getting further ahead in life. But in truth, what happened was, when those opportunities presented themselves and I wasn't mature enough or ready enough to understand what I was being gifted, I lost those opportunities, not because of authority, the authority that was giving me the key to walk through the gate. I was shoving the key in their face and telling them, they don't know what they're talking about. I was ruining those opportunities for myself. I wasn't coachable. I had all the right desire and ambition, and the complete wrong set of framework and behavior that didn't correspond well with my desires. So, and I can remember, like, it got to a point where no one could tell me anything. And it wasn't even that I felt I knew everything. I just didn't show enough respect or value to those people in positions of authority. And it's a funny thing, to really go through it. And that's why I enjoy doing these podcasts, because part of it is sharing these experiences that I've gone through that have helped me to change my life, and position me even now far beyond what I thought I would have reached And I know there's so much more out there, right? And that I speak to that too, is that part of when you're not coachable and you have desire to say, let's stick with the chefing, right? At the time, I wanted to open my own restaurants, but all over the world. I had this ambition to have restaurants in London, and have restaurants in Paris, and have restaurants in the States and Australia and Asia. I thought it'd be the coolest thing, to actually like build this like massive not empire, but I don't know what the word is, like a not franchise. I can't think, but basically, you sort of know what I'm alluding to, is that brand, right? Just having something bigger than yourself. And the interesting thing is until you learn to sort of get out of your own way and remove yourself being the obstacle, not the authority, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I know that sounds like a strange statement, but I didn't know what was truly possible for my life until I became coachable. I have ambition, I have desire, but I have no knowledge of what's truly out there. And the greatest roadblock I feel that I experienced, and in general, is your inability to be coachable. If you're not prepared to learn or be open and let other people guide you and give control to them, to allow them to instill this information and this knowledge that they've spent good time in their life earning that privilege and that right, because they've experienced it and they know what they're talking about. If you open to that, they will show you the doors that you don't even know exist, that open possibilities that you couldn't even dream possible. There's things that I couldn't even comprehend. I didn't even know were opportunities or possibilities or endeavors for me to pursue, that now I'm aware of, and I'm and continually try to remain coachable and open-minded, so that I can discover what else may present itself that can benefit my family and myself. So that was a huge moment, understanding that once you sort of take that step backwards and become coachable, you really start to see what is actually out there and available to you. Because I know it's the same thing as a concept. You've probably heard the I wouldn't call it a saying, but give and you shall receive, or give first and then you will receive, right? And 100%, without any doubt in my mind, that's the process. You must give first. And it's almost like this universal key. When you start to take the risk first, perhaps, or have faith, when you do that first and you put that energy out and you show the universe you are willing to take risks and you're open to what the universe holds, it comes back. But it doesn't come first. And the times that it does, when you're not ready to give, you don't see those opportunities. You're not ready. Your eyes aren't accustomed to understand what's truly in front of you. So it's so important. You have to understand to give. So when I think it goes hand in hand, that coachability is really an ability to give of yourself, to have faith that the person that's willing and prepared to give you this experience and guidance that they've earned, they see that you're truly humbled and you're prepared and open, and it's no loss to them for them to give you their time. And you'll find most people in positions that are successful, that have done things that you want to do or achieve, that have achieved those things, that, at least in my experience, I've learned and understand this, that they have the same mentality. The higher that I go and climb and learn and understand the different levels of thinking, or the different levels of achievement and success, I find the common patterns are those traits, and the way that these people think and behave and act. It's the same. And when you understand that, you can take that. It's the formula. You can copy it. You can mimic it. You can instill those own patterns and operating systems within yourself. And then when you're aligned in that regard, you become part of that circle. So very much when you give of yourself first, and you're open and coachable, the people that that are in positions of authority, that are higher than where you are, or can reach down and bring you up into that next level, they're prepared to share that knowledge with you, because they're where they are because someone did that for them. They didn't get there on their own. That's the beautiful thing. Everyone helps each other to rise. That's the whole thing. A rising tide lifts all ships. So you see these people that start to see that your mind is changing you, you're thinking in the same manner, or you're open and you have faith and you're ready to give before you receive. Those people will give you their time and their energy and their effort, because they know it's worth it. Because when you move up, you replace them, and they rise up higher because they've learned the next skill, or contributed to you, that's helped with their own growth. And then that's what they talk about, paying it forward. And when you level up and rise up, you have to reach back down and pull those other people up as well. Help those people. That's why I'm here doing this podcast for you guys, because I feel such a sense of gratitude for the people that have helped me and guided me and given me such wonderful gifts that have immensely impacted and changed my life. Because of those people, I'm able to provide more for my family than I ever dreamed possible. And I want the same for you listening to this, and other people that may find this in the future. This is what it's all about. I think the biggest shift really came from once I became coachable. As I say, that people were more willing to share that information with me. And those people that were sharing those lessons when I was a chef, and helping guide me as I was early in my career at that time, the people that tried to share with me initially, and I had that disregard for authority, and had no respect, and then they realized that I wasn't ready, and they weren't prepared to take that time and effort with me, because it's wasted on me. Why would they help me when I'm not ready? It's just going to go in one ear and out the other. It's just, I wouldn't truly value and appreciate and utilize what they were giving me. So then they go and teach the next person. And that was a huge shift for me, understanding that as I said, the authority wasn't the obstacle. I was the obstacle. My own behavior, my own beliefs, my lack of understanding. And I mean, I'm not hard on myself about it. It's life. It's the journey. If I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't understand the value between what I understand now versus the value of what I knew then. And you need the contrast to understand, how far you've come and what it truly means, and how to value what you have, at this current time. So another interesting thing for me, after going through this and learning this, I think was truly I better understood authority isn't someone in place that's there to hold you back. Authority is earned. True authority, true status, right? And I'm not talking authority just in the sense of police or law. I'm talking authority in someone who's qualified and capable and has earned their position. That authority to as they say, to speak with authority, because you have earned that right. You've done the work. And I truly, shifted that in my mind. Now, understood now that it's not any roadblock to my life, and I appreciate that authority more now, because I understand and I'm thankful for those people in those positions that were willing to teach me when I opened up and became coachable. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm at, and I'm continuing my growth, trying to find what the next step is in my evolution, and how I continue to learn from those above me, and help share with those that have in the early in the journey that I was on 5-10 years ago, where I can share and guide and help them too. So I hope this hits you, and it gives you something. I hope this resonates, this concept, especially if you're somebody that's listening to this, and you feel very much like I did when I was younger, and just don't really have any respect or value the importance of those authority figures. I implore you to step back, listen through this again, and take it on board. Those people aren't there as an obstacle. They're there because they worked hard, they earned that position, and the beautiful thing is you have the same opportunity. You can be in those positions. You can be higher than those positions. There's no obstacle other than your own mind. Okay? Who could you become? This is Wade Vincent. If you love what we're doing here, if you enjoy the podcast, please please subscribe to the channel, share the content out, because the more interest that it gets, it helps get the word out and spread this message to help other people in their lives that may need this message. If you want me to talk about different concepts and other things that you're struggling with, or you want help and advice with, send me an email. Please reach out to me. I'm on every social media channel at I'm Wade Vincent, or Forever Better Academy, and I'll do my best to give you guys what you need, and hopefully make an impact and change the way your life evolves and moves. So I thank you so much. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on the podcast. And I will talk to you again next Friday. Have a blessed weekend, and stay safe. Thanks, guys. Cheers.